It's called a promo,
Shut
kid.
your
And
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. Glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's dead.
That coffee is very hot and very bold. It's very bold and very hot.
Okay then.
Let me stretch this.
That's certainly a way to start.
I don't have a time limit for this one. I don't have a timetable. I don't have a time travel. Actually, I do. I got a time travel episode today. And
I got 5 minutes.
happy birthday, America. It is Independence
America.
Day. I got my American flag shirt, but my hair's so long you can't see it. That's what I was explaining just then.
Ollie for president.
Listen. Listen.
Yo.
And that's why I asked you to wear your Ali shirt as well. I was like, if you can wear your Mustafa Ali shirt. If not,
Yeah.
get some sort of Cody Rhodes Captain America shirt made up. I wish we could have had that done ahead of time. But back to time travel. A lot of has happened on July 4th. I'm going to give you the longest list of notes we have ever had in the show's history today. You ready to start this?
I think so.
Okay. 1994 is the year we're entering into.
Thank God. I thought we were going to start way...
Punch into the time travel machine. Our time machine's taking us all the way back to 1994 Raw. And Raw was only an hour back then. Fun fact. So...
Wow.
It's not that long, extensive. The longer these notes will go, the longer these Raws will get, and the more tired I was. This episode took me a lot of work, energy.
Effort.
Came to this episode so
loyalty.
exhausted today I can't even talk right. That's why I got this coffee right here. Open up the show with Gorilla Monsoon and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Let's go.
And the early Raw sirens that I hated. I hated those sirens.
That's fair. Sirens in general.
They welcome us to a special 4th of July Raw and take us to our opening contest. Country Western star Double J Jeff Jarrett versus Tatanka.
Oh my God.
Double J wins in a boring fashion. Random count-out victory after like a 2-star match. Then Double J says he won't accept such a win and to restart the match. So we do that and have the same 2-star match again, but with a pinfall finish instead. Tatanka wins that one, though. For America.
Hey, they were here first.
For America. Next is King's Court with Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler. Alright, man, what a schmuck. He interviews 123 Kid, also known as X-Pac.
Let's go.
Then we have a couple gimmick versus jobber matches that I'll blow past for the sake of time. Jim Neidhart puts them away quick. There was that. We had a Jim Neidhart squash match. And then we see only 8-month-old gimmick at this point, Undertaker, putting away another nobody, which is something that you have to know if you're unfamiliar with these older shows. Jobbers used to be used nearly every TV match. They had to get the pay-per-view stars over every week, and you only have an hour to do so. I learned that from the Hardy Boys DVD a long time ago. I was watching it, and I'm glad the formula had changed when we got deeper into the Attitude Era.
Yeah, that's...
Kind of sucks, like, just seeing nobodies pop up, and you never get quality wrestling, but, like, for 10 minutes. I think that 2-star match with Tatanka and Jeff Jarrett was probably the best match on the card.
Wow, okay.
1994 Raw. Alright, back to Taker. Him and his manager, Ted DiBiase, go out to his put his opponent in a body bag. That was the thing they were doing back then.
I mean, that makes sense.
And then are interrupted by Paul Bearer,
Let's go.
who strangely then seems to have control over The Undertaker and gets him to turn on DiBiase. DiBiase tries to pay Undertaker a lot of money and Undertaker stays. What does this mean? Find out the next episode, Raw, but you're not going to find that out here. So I have no idea where that went, but Undertaker was...
Hold on, wait a minute.
There was a price for the $1 Million Man.
Everyone's got a price. My God, Undertaker. I mean, hey,
Find out on Raw, not on Wrestling in the Middle.
even dead men need a Starbucks every now and then.
All right, I'm glad to just get out of 1994 Raw. Let me grab my PlayStation 2 controller over here. Our DVD has stopped on our DVD screen over here, watching ROH.
I'm going to apologize. I have some itchiness going on in the face.
Oh no.
It's fine. It's fine.
Any allergy medicine companies want to throw us a sponsorship? This guy needs to get some blank but blank. Can't advertise them yet. They haven't paid up. Alright, play the Roger Strong match. 2002 SmackDown. Let's shift over to 2002 SmackDown now.
Should make noises.
We open up this SmackDown with a catch-up video package of how Edge got hurt with a shoulder injury, attacked by Jericho, and recently had came back from that to attack Jericho and save his hero, Hulk Hogan, in the process. Following that, we have Lillian Garcia singing America the Beautiful on this patriotic occasion. But gets interrupted by the Canadians, Lance Storm, Test, and Christian.
Of course.
Of course, on July 4th, they get super mega ultra heel heat for this long America bashing segment. The real Great American Bash is what I call that. That's the real Great American Bash.
That's a great line. I love that.
Alright, Rikishi comes out to face Lance Storm for the opening match, so you had to feel like a major stink face had to be coming.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were talking mad shit. But with the help of his Canadian cohorts, Lance Storm gets the win. I like
go.
that. I don't know why
Let's
they
go.
never use that. I can't go back in time and pitch it. This time machine only goes one way, but
Yeah.
man. Alright, we revisit the week before once more to look at the debut of some green upstart nobody named John Cena.
Ew.
They really could have pushed his debut back a week to this July 4th episode and made his career an American hero saga. That's what I got out of this.
You could have.
Not even realizing this whole time that, yeah, his debut was 1 week before July 4th, and knowing how his career went from that point, they could have pushed that back a week and just made this the greatest thing ever.
But they don't have that hindsight.
For America.
They just have Heidenreich.
They didn't even have him yet.
Damn.
Later. I don't even think he'll come up here later, but we'll get into the time period later. That was more 2005. So now on to this week that we're 2002. Make sure we're in the same time travel box. Mr. McMahon has called this rookie John Cena into his office, and more to come in a minute on that. First, another couple rookies to talk about. Batista, accompanied by his Reverend Devon Dudley.
Oh, yeah.
He had been shadowing for, I think, like 2 weeks prior to this. That he had just started that gimmick under Devon Dudley. And let's see, who they have a tag match against? Val Venus and new rookie Randy Orton.
Wow.
Val Venus.
The whole VW cruise here.
After some fair but less than exciting action, Batista hits his spine-buster finish on Orton and gets the win. I took a moment to ponder to myself after that. The interesting concept is that so many wrestlers that get way over keep their first finish as a signature.
Yeah.
In the correlation I've made here.
That's basically how it goes, yeah.
Shout out to Arn Anderson for keeping the spinebuster as a finish for so long. Okay, now we move back into Mr. McMahon's office where Chris Jericho is complaining to no end about Edge's return. John Cena enters in his rookie green trunks and is just humbled to be here.
Yep, that was Cena back then.
Chris Jericho then gives him a piece of his mind and asks what kind of ruthless aggression he has, which gets him a green slap in the face.
Damn, slimed.
We, of course, get out of it the first of what would later in time be several meetings between Chris Jericho and John Cena, but on this day, the first.
Damn.
Alright,
Piece of history right there.
it is. Now, make this bigger for me again, because I'm loving this. When we then take to an unnecessarily upbeat backstage interview segment with Kurt Angle, preparing for his WWE title match against The Undertaker later in the show.
Damn, okay.
We might have a 5-star episode on our hands here. All right. Then we get the F out. We got to play the
go.
Get the F out ad. You ready for this? Make sure it's loud enough for...
Oh, we're playing it. Oh, we're doing the
I'm
damn
playing
thing.
the Get the F out ad. This is one of like 3 or 4 that came out, and it's hilarious.
Cheers to me! Hey, baby, what's your sign? So, do you come here often? Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Have you ever seen an F this big?
World Wrestling Entertainment. Get the F out.
Thanks, I needed that.
Classic.
So what you're
Classic.
saying is, if you have an F in your name, get it the out right now.
Get the F out. We need this is a TV 14 program. We need to get the F out, and then it will become a PG program later whenever we're getting a lot of sponsorship money, and boom, get the F out.
Get the
Next,
F
we have
out.
another mid-card tag team match, but this one is actually the moment from this episode that people will remember for the rest of time.
Okay.
I know it sounds like you might remember Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker on July 4th. Nope. This overshadows it. Honestly, till I watched this episode back, though, I had no idea Angle and Taker would have had a WWE title match on the same night. Edge and Hulk Hogan beat Billy and Chuck for the WWE tag team titles.
I do remember that, actually.
I think it just overshadowed it completely. But that match and the moment indeed happened here just shortly after 30 minutes into the program, and Edge looks like a giddy child the entire time during that.
Yeah, I can remember that vaguely.
He looks like he's having the time of his life. After that, we get to Chris Jericho and John Greena. Let's go ahead and just run with this now. John Greena, green shorts, green baby face, all that. And Jericho makes him look good like he's supposed to, but then picks up the win.
Makes sense.
What a concept. What a fun concept. He was
right?
he was being the learning tree before he even knew it. Everybody's been under the learning tree at some point.
I mean, that's not far from the truth.
Next, we get to a special trailer park segment with my boy, Cruiserweight champion Jamie Noble, who has treated his girlfriend Nydia to a new trailer home, and the segment is hilarious. Why most of us are Jamie Noble fans to this day. Stuff like that is... I watched it and I was like, dude, this is why I love Jamie Noble.
Oh.
Next, we get to the bra and panties match between Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler, which surprisingly even had a build to it that stemmed from Tori Wilson winning a swimsuit competition unfairly by sleeping with Maven, who was a judge. This made her the Golden Thong winner, and yes, she brought the trophy to that match. If anybody wants to know, yes, she brought the trophy to the match. If I was to break this match down to you from a technical standpoint, it'd be a slaughter fest the way I'd break how sloppy it was. But likewise, I definitely still watched it. Like, the most entertaining part of it, to be fair, was Taz singing God Bless America when Tori Wilson stripped anyways after winning the match. Because you know that always happens.
Yeah.
Taz singing God Bless America.
That's a bad move, Jones, right there.
Man. All right. We go backstage to an interview with The Undertaker to discuss his ladder match with Jeff Hardy the Monday night before. One of my favorite matches. His match this night with Kurt Angle, of course, and his match at Vengeance against The Rock, who had been pitching a return recently. And does so all with the full amount of American badass flavor that he can throw into it. That's what I wrote down.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a break just to talk about this for 1 second. It won't take long. I recently was gonna run a tag team match to throw into this episode because, you know, shout out to the Wrestling in the Middle tag team champions, Better Than You Baby. We got tag champions now, and I was gonna run the most ridiculous 3-way ladder match. It was gonna be, okay, hold on, let me remember. The American Dragon and the American Badass.
Okay.
Versus the American Dream and the American Nightmare.
Okay.
Versus Better Than You Baby in a ladder match for the tag champions.
There's a lot of America in there. Yeah.
What happened to MJF, bro? He's bald. I gotta go fix MJF before I can do a damn thing.
2K devs, stop breaking shit. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, dude. I ran the match. I was like, let's go. Everybody made their entrance. MJF came last. Bald as a button.
Another fun fact, they broke the AI too. I was doing matches in my Rise, and now there's an infinite thing where people go in and go out and go in and go out and go in and go out and God, it's so terrible.
All right, now to our main event, the WWE title match itself. Angle versus Undertaker, American Hero versus American Badass. Match is a solid one. Solid one. I mean, you have to expect in some sorts.
I thought you were saying it was a solid 1 star. I was about to be like, whoa, wait a minute, bro, wait a minute.
I wouldn't even have made the note. Rather quick paced for a Taker match, but that's just Angle's normal pace back then. We get a sus finish where Taker taps out to a triangle hold after pinning Angle's shoulders down at the same time. 3 refs come in and debate who the winner is, and the main ref for the match, Mike Chioda, calls it a draw, which gets awarded to the champion. We all know. Crowd gets pissed at that finish, so does Angle, and Angle then attacks The Undertaker. I don't know what happens for the live crowd from them, but I'm hoping that's not how they end the show live, because that's how they ended the show on TV.
So it sounds like any American presidential election.
I'm not getting political today.
That's fair.
I'm going to 2005. We're post-election, and sure, we don't have the greatest president, but we're all children, and we don't know that. I was a child in 2005. I don't know about you. All right. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be really fun. Getting into 2005 Raw is like walking into a burning house with a disco ball spinning around. It's just, you don't know if you're going to get burned, but you're feeling alive.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Laugh it off. I'm hilarious. Before we even get to that absolute banger that was the 2005 Monday Night Raw intro, we get the promo package to let us know that tonight is the night Hulk Hogan will be live and appearing on Carlito's Cabana.
Oh my God.
I'm saying all this right. Then, of course, we play that banger opening thing. I can't play the opener here, but if you know, you know. And I know you know. From that, we hear the angelic voice of Jim Ross loudly and proudly saying, "Happy birthday, America."
Happy birthday, America!
You didn't even hold a candle to the angelic voice of Jim Ross. Go to the opening segment, Carlito's Cabana, and Hulk Hogan indeed comes out after we first promote his new reality show debuting the same night, Hogan Knows Best. Let me get my coffee.
Oh no,
guys! You've seen me this whole time. I'm reading from the notes because I made all my notes for the show. I'm about to read y'all the tea.
I forgot.
Cheers.
I blocked this out of my mind.
Cheers. All right. Fun fact. The show was entertaining, but VH1 and MTV executives quickly, within the first 2 seasons, spun it into a spotlight for his hot daughter, Brooke Hogan.
Yep.
And the show, after 4 seasons, was changed into Brooke Knows Best.
Yep.
Which was still somewhat entertaining, but 100% looking back, was a way for Hollywood execs to get their hands on her. And that show only lasted 2 seasons before ending. And rumor mills spun rampant at the ending of the show, when she tried to out a producer on the show for sexually exploiting her. And at the time, the internet claimed this was her sleeping her way to the top and getting mad when it didn't work. How much of that last part is all true, I cannot confirm by any means. The internet in 2008 to 2010 was a different place. Just a wild side note there. Okay, so I had to make all that because that's something fair. That has context to this. On the Cabana. Here we go. On Carlito's Cabana. Carlito tells Hogan he's a really big deal and a big name, but this appearance on the Cabana is the biggest thing he's ever done in his career, and I might have to agree with that.
Okay, I'm down.
He also questions why Hulk didn't bring his hot daughter Brooke.
Of course.
Hulk starts getting grumpy at this. Carlito then adds fuel to the Hulk fire by implying that he should be the one to Brooke Hogan, and gets a punch to the head for that one.
Okay then. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, at least Hogan was willing to do it, brother.
Obviously, he didn't say he wanted to Hogan. He just said that he wanted to make her submit or something. Everybody always goes that route.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more then. To continue making this a solid Carlito's Cabana, Kurt Angle comes out and flexes that he made Shawn Michaels tap out, which nobody had cared about anymore at that point. He also says that nobody cares about Hulk Hogan's daughter and people should instead be talking about that fact that he made Shawn Michaels tap out.
I would be talking about it.
He says he's made Ric Flair tap out, and he's even made Hulk Hogan tap out. Claims he can do it again anytime he wants, but what he really wants more than anything is to make Brooke Hogan tap out.
I remember this now.
Yes, Brooke Hogan has come up that much in this segment. A lot of guys were trying to Brooke Hogan in 2005 to 2006. And don't even get me started on SummerSlam 06 and Randy Orton and that whole thing.
Oh my god.
This gets Angle punched as well, of course. Carlito attacks Hogan, and now Angle and Carlito are jumping Hulk Hogan. And who saves the day? Shawn Michaels. If you know SummerSlam 05 like I do, you know where all this is headed. And we'll get into more of that too. But HBK and Hogan were planting some seeds on the Cabana. I'm sure the Cabana has prime, growing environment.
I'm sure they wanted to plant seeds in other places too.
Stop.
Ruthless aggression.
Next, we see some in-ring action. There we go. Wrestling. That comes off all this Edge, Kane, Snitsky, Matt Hardy, Lita shit. Edge and Snitsky versus Big Show and Kane. Another random side note. Lita's shirt on this night is fire as it says famous in Japan and cool font. Anyways, tag team match. It's a pretty good one, if you can believe it. Kane and Big Show pick up the win.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming.
Wow.
I certainly didn't see that coming. Backstage, outside Eric Bischoff's office, we catch up with Shawn Michaels, and he informs us of the tag match made official for tonight. Carlito and Angle versus HBK and Hulk Hogan.
I mean, that makes sense.
It might. Then we head to the ring for a handicap match. Romeo and Antonio, the Heartthrobs, versus Viscera. And this was playing out the storyline that Lillian Garcia and Viscera had been in a relationship, but Viscera had just dumped her. So she was a little emotional announcing him for this match. Heartthrobs get disqualified after they hit hit Viscera's nuts on the ring post. Can't hit him in the nuts with the ring post, but it's semantics, logistics.
Are the Heartthrobs anyone I should know? Like,
you don't remember them? I didn't really remember them either. But at the same time, like Fever Dream Way, I do remember them. I can't explain it. I feel like some people, not us, but some people also feel this way about Rene Dupree. I don't feel that way about Rene Dupree. I remember Rene Dupree pretty well, but some people.
Okay.
All right. Now, after that, we get to a very questionable backstage segment that sees an upscale suburban dressed Chavo Guerrero make a lot of disparaging remarks about the Hispanic culture and people.
No.
He denounces his Hispanic heritage and has decided to join middle-class America and has changed his name to Kerwin White.
No!
He ends by calling Maria stupid, mean. John Cena comes to console her, and this doesn't even, like, I don't know if this comes up later or not, so I'll just say it now. They had this weird off and on thing for so many years where John Cena and Maria had a thing, but didn't. But
I remembered that, and I unfortunately remember Kerwin White as well.
Okay, next we get to the highlight reel with Chris Jericho, on which John Cena is the guest, which seems like a segment to make the champ look like $1 million, but of course, as always, turns into Chris Jericho trying to flex his better accomplishments.
Wait, so we had 2 different talk show segments on this show?
Yes.
Okay.
Fair enough. Carlito's Cabana is a hit. I'd put it on any show. Alright. John Cena tries to walk away humbly, and Chris Jericho takes that offensively. Seems like a Chris Jericho thing to do in 2005. Yep. He says he can take the WWE title from John Cena. Words are exchanged, hands are thrown, fight is broken up. There's I can't really add too much more context to that. There's a cooler time that John Cena shows up on the highlight reel, but it wasn't that time.
Yep.
Dude, that pop, that John Cena's drafted to Raw pop.
I remember that. Remember that vividly.
Not bigger than the Dolph Ziggler Money in the Bank cash-in pop, though.
Oh, I remember that too. So good.
Not bigger than the Hardys WrestleMania 33 pop, though.
I wasn't watching, but
I popped just as loud in my home when that happened. Next, we get to Bikini Boot Camp instead of actual wrestling. Sergeant Slaughter runs the 2005 Diva Search contestants through an obstacle course. This took up 17 minutes of TV time. 2005, bro.
Oh my god.
After that, though, we finally get to some wrestling, but it's only Val Venus and Rene Dupree. Not a banger. A shit mid-card match with a finish barely deserves a note. But hey, we got Rene Dupree over, right?
You know what? I'll take him over VV any day.
We get a SmackDown rebound. I always loved those, the Raw rebound, the SmackDown rebound. And revisit that week's SmackDown moment of the week, which was Batista debuting on SmackDown as World Heavyweight Champion after JBL won a big match that would make him the SmackDown Champion. But instead, of course, we found out that there was no need for a SmackDown Championship. I still really wonder what that title was going to look like. A SmackDown Championship in 2005 could have been fire, especially the designs they had on titles back then. They probably would have cooked up the sickest design.
I like blue.
I like blue. Alright, now we get into the tag match between Carlito, Angle, HBK, and Hulk Hogan for America. Goes as predictable as you'd expect, but good. Hogan and Michaels get the win for America. Then, of course, as the timeline of that story goes, Shawn Michaels hits the surprise Sweet Chin music on Hulk Hogan, and this sets up for their infamous match at 2005 SummerSlam. Icon versus Icon.
I remember.
Yeah, gotta milk that shit. Speaking of milk, let me put this coffee down. There's no milk in it. I hate dairy. Can they see it without me spilling it? Sorry, I'm almost out.
Okay. So much diva shit, man.
Hey, it's 2006. We're about to run through 2006 ECW. I'm getting hot in this shirt. I want to change my shirt. Dude, 2006 ECW was banger though, but honestly, as cool as that time period was, and like the only feeling when ECW had any sort of resurgence, this is the day that died.
Oh no.
What could have been a good resurgence for ECW, the only shred of hope we had left got killed on this day.
Let's go.
We're not celebrating. This
Let's
is
go.
angry me. I'm putting on my boat shirt because I like it and it's smoother and it has a better fabric. I don't feel as hot and sweaty. I'm mad.
I would be pissed too, but honestly, I've learned to live with it at this point.
That's how I feel right now.
Stone Cold. What? Hell yeah. I'm ready.
I'm not.
I probably vaguely remember this because I remember I was watching around this point.
It's the first note. One of my least favorite episodes of all time, but I can't say why yet. You just gotta let it play out. Coffee burp. Alright. Open up the show with Paul Heyman addressing RVD, losing the WWE title on Raw the night before. But rest assured, he's still the ECW champion. Big Show barges in while Paul is singing the praises of RVD, and he demands he get his promised title match tonight.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Next, we get to a Kelly's expose segment where she does a strip tease for America. But the bit of time she would start stripping, and then her overprotective boyfriend Mike Knox comes in. That was the running bit at the time.
Right.
Was that Mike Knox comes in and ruins it, and that's the best way to get heel heat if from all the 14-year-old boys watching this product, and I know that from experience. So, all right, Mike Snots, Mike Boogers comes back out to wrestle Little Guido, aka Nunzio.
Let's go.
And get "You Suck" chants rain down on him.
Wow.
That and "Shut the up" chants.
Let's go.
Oh, and also "You Can't Wrestle" chants. Yep. But despite not being able to wrestle, he still picks up the win.
Hey, you should have got a "Who is that guy?" chant.
RVD barges into Paul's office next and demands he defend his ECW World title against Big Show tonight.
Why would you do that, Rob?
Hey, he's a fighting champion, and we love that and respect that. And next, we get a priest hopping from the barricade and snatching a microphone to tell everybody how disgusted he is with ECW and how we are all piece of shit sinners, and we're all gonna burn in hell. I learned that.
Yep.
This is what you're teaching me, priest.
Okay.
Then he goes on to reveal that he's not an actual priest, and he was in disguise so he could dupe Taz and Joey Styles. Then the Sandman comes out and does his cool guy, badass entrance for quite some time before going out to the crowd to grab this fake priest hooligan and give him a solid caning.
That was Sandman's whole thing at this point, was literally just caning.
They would bring in the random characters. The zombie is the most notable.
That was literally the first episode.
RVD barges into Big Show's locker room next and accepts his title match challenge, then slaps Big Show in his face. Paul comes up to RVD in the hallway and tries to talk more sense into him, but is met with an RVD pep talk, and we see Paul Heyman's demeanor start to change. He makes the match official for later and makes it Extreme Rules, which, why would you not? It's the ECW title. It has to be Extreme Rules. I wish we'd kept that rule. All right, we then get to the Test ECW debut thing. Me too. He comes out looking like charisma-less steroid use. His opponent, Al Snow, comes out looking like Al Snow.
Let's go.
Match starts. Test gets the upper hand early, and the crowd just continuously chants, "You take steroids at him." Test then squashes Al Snow in less than 2 minutes and punts Head into the crowd after the match. Poor Head.
How could you do that? And
Poor Head.
more importantly, why was the crowd so against steroid use? I mean, I get it. But, like, that demographic against it?
Huh. Okay. You bring up an interesting point. Because I'm like, well, I mean, we don't... I think we just want to bash people for stuff we can bash them for. And
Yeah, so, I mean, because, like, I would have done it, but
you're bringing up a perspective, that's for sure.
I don't know.
We get a I'm Sabu and I'm Crazy video package after that.
I love Sabu.
We get Kevin Thorne being a vampire outside the arena after that. We get CM Punk talking to the camera telling us about how much he's a saint and doesn't drink drugs or smoke alcohol or get addicted to anything except for wrestling and controversy. I might be freestyling a little bit. I might be reading off the notes a little bit. Now we get to our main event, that Extreme Rules match for the ECW title that we've been building to all night. Solid match for certain, seeing RVD fight his ass off to beat size difference in the match and stay ECW champion. Nearly gets the job done, but Paul Heyman, of all people, screws him out of the match and costs him the title. The same way he came to make the 3 count for RVD at One Night Stand and win the WWE title, he does again, but this time stopping at 2 and screwing him out of the ECW World title.
Why, Paul? Why?
Well, and as you and I would later find, this would be a creative way to punish RVD for the weed charge he caught at the time with Sabu on the road. Crazy. Shitty is what that is. Now, we're going to skip over 2 more years and go to SmackDown 2008. So, and maybe we'll have a little bit more positivity with this. I remember the changes after the draft in 2008 and being so optimistic, thinking like, Mick Foley's a commentator, this can be great. Mick Foley says it was one of the worst jobs of his life.
Yep.
Just random notes that aren't in the notes. Same as Raw 2005, SmackDown 2008 opens up with the angelic voice of Jim Ross loudly and proudly saying, "Happy birthday, America."
Happy birthday, America!
You're getting closer, but
okay.
There's only one. There can only be one.
Fair.
You can try them. You can always try.
The one and only?
He also announces that the night's main event will be a U.S. title fatal 4-way featuring champion Matt Hardy defending against Mr. Kennedy, Chavo Guerrero, and Shelton Benjamin. Exciting stuff. 4 guys that deserve a main event.
Yeah.
Then we get to the opening segment, which is a special MVP's VIP lounge with guest WWE champion Triple H. Yeah. He congratulates him on beating John Cena and bringing the WWE title to SmackDown. He also brings the jokes as he proceeds to subtly insult MVP in that Triple H funny kind of way that he does. We play the film, and it is basically a Raw recap of the moment. CM Punk cashed in Money in the Bank on Edge to get the World Heavyweight title on Raw.
Let's go.
And also him defending it against JBL the same night. Why? I have no idea. But then Vicky Guerrero comes out and reminds the now buddy-buddy joking MVP and Triple H that she's the general manager. Triple H congratulates her on her upcoming wedding and jokes to her that she should just skip the wait and dip off to Vegas to get married now. And he knows a great place in Vegas they can go that's only $40. And where the beautiful thing is, you don't even have to be conscious for it. It's a throwback for those who get the joke.
Yep.
To this, Vicky basically just responds that Triple H in 2 weeks will be defending the WWE title against Edge. Interesting MVP VIP lounge, to say the least. Note for us. That went like, whoa, where are the words? Where are the words in the note?
Sometimes there's too many words.
Dude.
They keep coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming and they don't.
I had to come back from that one. I had to raw rebound from that one.
Did you ricochet?
No. Opening contest is a doozy. We have a 5 Diva Star on a pole match. Not
Wait.
5 Diva Stars, but 5 Diva Star on a pole match. It's just a cardboard star on a pole. I don't know.
Why?
Basically, stipulations what it sounds like. There's a star on a pole, and whichever diva grabs it will face red-haired Natalia to become the first ever Divas champion. Yes, this is how we determine the number one contender. Red-haired Natalia comes out to be on commentary for the match, and then we get the field for it. Michelle McCool, the apparent favorite here. Victoria, Cherry, yeah, that's right, Cherry. Maurice, and Kelly. Not a long match, and Michelle McCool gets the win. It was, like I said, she was heavy favorited to going into the match.
But Cherry, wow.
Yeah, Cherry was in there. I did not see it coming. Go backstage to Vicky's office where she's with her wedding planner, Alicia Fox, before she was ever Alicia Fox.
Wow.
Edgeheads Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder step into her office, and she chews them out pretty badly for not helping Edge keep his World Heavyweight title on Raw. And punishment for this, she puts them in a match against Jesse and Festus up next.
Wow, a lot of people in roles that they didn't stick with.
Before we get to that, we take a look at the impressive new undefeated talent on SmackDown, Vladimir Kozlov. A man who legitimately was a scary guy when introduced, and often in my mind a threat for multiple people's world title reigns. But of course, WWE turned him into a goof character instead, going that annoying route that they often do.
No.
When I was a kid, I thought Vladimir Kozlov was like the guy that was going to take everybody out.
See, I mean, I get that, but I also get the fact that tea time with him and Santino.
Man, they took him a whole other way than what he was supposed to go. I was like, everybody's done for. That guy's going to kill everybody.
Nope, he just drank tea.
All right, now we get to our tag match. We get Luke Gallows, Festus, dressed up like Uncle Sam.
Oh my God.
Bell rings and he comes to life, and Hawkins and Ryder are in trouble at that point. Match, all in all, is all it can be. It all in all is all it can be, and an early mid-card tag match is what that is. Jesse and Festus get a fairly somewhat dominant win. Edge comes out at the end of the match and spears a dumbed and immobile Festus and proceeds to whip him in front of Jesse as the Edgeheads make Jesse watch. Kind of dark shit.
It's really
Gives him a chair shot to the head. Big bully energy to end this segment. Alright, we come back from commercial after that to see Edge and Vicky getting into a heated argument backstage about Edge's recent misfortunes and her status as his wife boss.
Okay.
I have to give it a term. That she was his
pretty
wife
sure
boss.
that's already a term on Instagram or something.
Boss wife boss.
Tumblr, I don't know.
Big boss energy. Yeah! Back to the ring. Newly drafted SmackDown superstar Jeff Hardy comes out to have a match with rising star John Morrison. Great match. Jeff Hardy gets the win.
Let's go.
There was no story to it. Next, a bit of in-ring action. We get Umaga versus number one cruiserweight and number one commentator Funaki.
Let's go.
And I don't think the note needs to go much further than that. We know how this one ends. Umaga squashed Funaki. Let's keep it moving.
Depressing.
Funaki's still number one in our hearts.
Yeah!
Back to the ongoing backstage drama with Edge and Vicky. We see Edge bitching to Hawkins and Ryder, and then a redhead assistant flirtatiously grabs his arm and tells him Vicky wants to see him. Maybe it was or wasn't flirtatious, but given Edge's nature, I imagine there was something there.
Makes sense.
He goes into Vicky's office angrily, and we see Alicia Fox look awkward and nervous behind Vicky. Wonder what's going on there. Edge begins insulting Vicky Guerrero and demeaning her job.
Asshole.
Vicky turns up on him and even begins speaking Spanish a little.
Yeah,
he yells at her to shut up and not speak that gibberish.
Damn. Come on,
She
man.
screams at him to get out. He gets out and then tries to return, but only to find he's locked out.
Is this a euphemism for relationships in America?
Maybe. Then we get to the main event match. That is the fatal four-way for the U.S. title that I mentioned earlier.
Let's go.
For America.
For America.
Matt Hardy, Mr. Kennedy, Chavo G, and Shelty B.
Let's go.
A fun fatal 4-way for sure. Maybe not the greatest main event, but certainly not boring. And I think at the time, a bold move having these 4 guys get a chance to main event a holiday show.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy gets the win and retains, and this is the first and only time a U.S. champion has held and successfully defended that title as an active member of the ECW roster.
Damn.
As Matt Hardy was just recently drafted to ECW. He held the title for 2 more weeks before losing it in his next defense against Shelton Benjamin at the Great American Bash. The GAB. The Gab. The big Gab. Dude, you're gonna hear about Great American Bash, Money in the Bank, and Battleground a lot during this episode.
Okay, all right.
So just keep your wits about you going down this road. Now we jump over to 2011 Raw, and this is about to get really. I get a little tripped up for this one because I don't know if you know how deep 2011's July 4th Raw goes, but 1 week after CM Punk had costed John Cena in a tables match against R-Truth and cut one of, if not, the single most iconic promo in wrestling history. Yes, I'm talking about the pipe bomb promo.
Makes sense.
1 week after CM Punk drops the pipe bomb, we come to an interesting 4th of July episode of Raw and announce that since Punk has been indefinitely suspended, there will be a triple threat to determine a new number 1 contender for Money in the Bank. Alberto, Rey Mysterio, R-Truth.
Damn. R-Truth was there at that point. Wow, let's go.
Oh, yeah. 2011, 2012, R-Truth was getting a world title push, but not actually being a world title contender. It's like they put him there, but you knew he was never going to win. WWE Champion John Cena comes out for America. And to address the CM Punk thing and all that comes along with it, he pulls a major babyface move and disagrees with the WWE's decision to suspend Punk and take him out of his last match in his hometown. He lays it all out and points out the freedom of speech thing that we treasure in America.
Yeah.
Kind of important to do on July 4th. John Cena and America are just one and the same, I feel like.
That makes sense.
John Cena also identifies himself as looking like the Kool-Aid Man in jorts on this episode, to quote him. He then tells Michael Cole that this is a big deal and there will be no anonymous general manager shenanigans interfering.
With his tirade.
Yeah, with his tirade. I was just, sorry, I thought you had something.
No.
Alright. He wants to call out Vince McMahon tonight and settle this shit now.
Let's go.
He then exits as he and we all await the arrival of the Dirty V, Vinnie Mac.
Dirty V. Okay.
Opening contest, Diva Tag Match. Eve and Kelly versus the Bellas. It was asked, the Bellas lost.
Okay, it's fair.
After the match, we take a look at Season 5 Tough Enough winner, Silent Rage, Andy Levine, who looked like a definite total package but didn't make it out of FCW past a year. Went to the Indies but ultimately retired before long.
I remember hearing about that one.
Did you ever watch Tough Enough?
No.
Damn, never even watched all the seasons of Tough Enough. Maybe that can be a watch along one day or a wrestle binge.
Oh,
I'll make you do a wrestle binge
Tough Enough.
on Tough Enough. I mean, I feel like it's fun to watch Tough Enough, but that's me. Go back to ringside, and we have a Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov coming out to face David Otunga and Curtis Axel, Michael McGillicuddy,
right?
Who were representing the new Nexus and coming out to CM Punk's theme, This Fire Burns, that theme.
Let's go.
It's not that great of a match, but the new Nexus wins, and the fire keeps burning always for them. As they're celebrating, Zack Ryder comes out to ruin the fun by only coming out and saying, woo, 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 you know it, and then going back to Gorilla. It's random.
I'd pop for that.
Back from commercial, we get an interview with the Miz, who is distraught that he's not in the WWE title picture because of Alex Riley, who he will be facing tonight and getting his revenge on.
Makes sense.
Next backstage segment, we see Evan Bourne, my guy, with Sergeant Slaughter in a celebratory mood for this 4th of July. Then Jack Swagger interrupts and insults the Sarge. Swagger challenges Sergeant Slaughter to a match, to which Slaughter agrees.
What?
Yeah, Slaughter agrees. Accepts the challenge.
No.
We then get footage of Mr. McMahon's jet landing and confirmation he is going to be heading out to the arena.
Was that a threat?
It's a threat.
I think that was a threat.
So we then get to our impromptu singles match between Swagger and Slaughter for America. To Slaughter's credit, too, he came in and worked a nice little 2-3 minute match and took some bumps. He did.
Wow.
Gets beat by Swagger, and after the match, Swagger puts him in the ankle lock, but Evan Bourne quickly saves him. And
Let's go.
I'm still wondering why Evan Bourne didn't just say, hey, I'll fight you instead. But, hey, let a grown man fight his battles.
I guess so, yeah.
The Sarge gets on the mic and then proceeds to just immediately recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of course he does.
For America.
Why does that come across as like a how old was he at this point?
I couldn't tell you.
It
Not
just sounds
young.
like he's just a senile old man just who loves America. Just
Certainly
going
wasn't
out there.
young. Turn up U.S. champion time. You gotta have a U.S. champion on a July 4th
Makes
show.
sense.
U.S. champion Dolph Ziggler comes out to a 4th of July party set up in the ring, accompanied by his cougar, Vicky Guerrero. That was the thing they were doing. And a cake that says, Happy Birthday, Dolph and America. Vicky sings him happy birthday, and then he goes on another one of his classic Dolph Ziggler rants. Then Kofi Kingston comes out and tells him without Vicky in his corner, he can't beat him. Kofi pushes Dolph, who bumps into Vicky, who then falls over into the cake. I was going to say, glad she moved on for where we left her with Edge and that whole situation. But I'll kind of maybe leave that on hold for now.
Yeah, no, I know where this goes.
In-ring action up next as we see Miz versus Alex Riley. I yawned as soon as the build-up video package played for that. I get it has a storyline. I never was, and I don't think I ever will be that into it. Match is somewhat decent, though, to give credit where it's due. Alex Riley does get the surprise upset win and leaves Miz distraught and with nothing else to do but attack Riley after the match.
And then Riley died. The end.
Man, he lives for a little bit, just not. He doesn't live, that. He doesn't live that lively. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I get it.
Go watch NWA Alex Riley if you want substance.
No!
Sorry, moving on. We take a moment before we next head outside to the arena to see Vince's limo pulling in. We revisit the pipe bomb incident. And then Mr. McMahon comes out to the ring and he says he suspended CM Punk because it was the right thing to do and anybody would have done the same thing. He deserved it, and you all know he's not worthy of the special treatment he is asking to receive. I argue that he might have been. The crowd has their opinions, though. Not that Vince is listening. John Cena comes out and does not run to the ring. That's how you know something's serious. He checks Vince, and it kind of feels like he's on thin ice saying the disparaging things about Vince he then proceeds to. But he makes valid points and even makes Vince look like a chicken shit.
Let's go.
Vince tells John Cena then that he actually suspended CM Punk because he doesn't want to take a chance on John Cena to save the company. He would not risk his legacy and his company's legacy on John Cena beating CM Punk.
Wow.
Which we know isn't actually true. Admittedly, I think they spun this angle in such a creative and juicy, I'm invested heavily type of way.
Yeah.
Because as sucky as 2011 WWE wrestling could be, it had some insanely great storylines. Especially the CM Punk Money in the Bank angle. So much of the fourth wall is broken down during this segment, and we really changed the perspective of creative booking during this time period. John Cena addresses why the match needs to happen from a logical fan's perspective. Vince tells him there's been Hogan, Michaels, Austin. They were all megastars that walked out on him, and Cena is no different.
Damn.
Yeah. Cena says if this is how Vince wants to run the company, that's not what he's busted his ass and grinded to the bone for, not what he signed up for.
No!
He hands Vince the WWE title and proceeds to walk out. Vince goes into an uproar and stops Cena, then, despite everything he said and believes, reinstates Punk, gives John Cena the WWE strap back, makes the match and tells Cena that if he doesn't retain at Money in the Bank, he will fire him on the spot.
Wow, okay.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Oh, an interesting Raw for the time travel. Now let's move only 1 year over to 2012 NXT. Should be kind of fun, actually.
Okay, yeah, no, it's not very. This was. Not very familiar with this period of NXT, so yeah.
This was just bare bones NXT. In fact, spoiler alert, some people wrestled twice on the card.
Let's go.
We had to. As soon as the opener plays, we go straight to in-ring action as Sofia Cortez makes her entrance to face Paige, who is awaiting in the ring. We got JR and Byron Saxton on commentary because Corey Graves was still wrestling at this time.
Right.
Random, I know, sorry, but it still just strips me out. Anyways, somewhat decent, but Sofia Cortez gets a rather quick win, and I'm not sure why she was getting a push instead of Paige at the time, but we know how it turns out for both of those women. So
Who is Sofia Cortez?
Britt. Next, we see Camacho face off against Seth Rollins. The two have a solid match with what little time they must have had because it's only an hour-long program with commercials, so the match went by quick. But with a good amount of substance. That's the main note to make here. You get a little amount of time, give a good amount of substance. Rollins picks up the victory and gets attacked by Hunico and Camacho after the match, to then be saved by Bo Dallas. Do you believe? Are you a believer?
I believe.
Corey Graves makes his entrance next with his tag partner Jake Carter.
Who?
To go to the ring and face off with Nick Rogers and CJ Parker.
Who?
If that name rings any bells, let me know. The last one.
CJ Parker, maybe?
Corey and Jake pick up a win, and I'm glad because every man in this match was well too green and ahead of their prime to garner any interest from any fans.
Damn.
CJ Parker was technically solid, but I'm sure we can agree he's got a lot more personality now as Juice Robinson. So.
Wow.
Also, CJ Parker was Roman Reigns' first NXT match. Roman Reigns' debut was against Juice Robinson.
Let's go.
A little fun fact.
Let's run it back.
Let's run it back today, right now, at Forbidden Door. Next, we get to the big NXT debut of Cassius Ohno, showing a video package for him. And before we even look at his debut match, we play another package for the new coming Bray Wyatt character, which would happen next week.
Wow, okay.
Which man got a bigger push?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. So now we officially get to the big NXT debut for Cassius Ohno. And his he walks down to the ring, his opener match, Mike Dalton. If that name rings any bells, I'm surprised because I had no idea Tyler Breeze's name before Tyler Breeze was Mike Dalton.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. How green can green be? With this context, I kind of just assumed it would be a full squash match, but to Mike Dalton's credit, he wrestled a decent match with the hot new attraction, and I imagine that's why he didn't get lost in the shuffle of post-FCW early NXT.
Makes sense.
Cassius, of course, does get the win regardless, which we still had to expect, but at least it wasn't a 30-second squash. After the match, he gets on the mic and insults the crowd before spewing generic cliche promo lines and then takes his exit. I don't even remember what they were. They were like the most generic, like, I bad, you suck, I leave. Okay. Next, out to the ring, we get Derek Bateman, another green name for a wrestler who had ended up being somebody bigger later on. Can you guess who that was? Who's that Pokemon NXT edition?
Oh, I know this one, but I can't.
I gotta cover it. Literally, his name's so small I had to cover it with one finger. Derek Bateman, a.k.a. EC3.
Oh, yeah.
His opponent comes out. Fast rising star Jinder Mahal. Really solid match with good substance to it,
okay.
as a lot of things. Jinder wins by submission with the camel clutch. He had that submission move.
I vaguely remember that.
I mean, Jinder was really over at that point. That was his first big push. Him and Seth Rollins were the finals for the NXT Championship.
I remember that, yeah.
Don't hinder Jinder.
Don't hinder Jinder. And don't put him in the blender.
Don't.
Just make sure to return to Cinder. Okay, I'm done.
Don't. Now, because of the interference after the second match was over, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes sets up an impromptu six-man tag match with Michael McGillicuddy, Camacho, and Hunico facing off against Seth Rollins, Tyson Kidd, and Bo Dallas.
Hell of a team.
Yeah, and that match is up next. It's a good showcase match for all involved, but has limitations on how entertaining it can be, especially since we've seen most of these guys once already in the night.
Right.
They do their best anyways, and it shows, but in the end, Tyson Kidd costs the babyface team the win, and Michael McGillicuddy / Curtis Axel gets the pin. I randomly forget sometimes, too, that he is the son of Mr. Perfect.
Well, he didn't have quite a perfect run, you know what I mean?
So where to next?
I don't know if this hurts.